Patrick, a shutout in the second half. I know there's no moral victories.
Yeah.
In terms of progress for the defense and, you know, growth, did you feel pretty good about what was going on and what was going on in that second half?
I was proud of how we fought in the second half, the poise and the resolve the players showed. You know, it's something we've seen from those guys throughout, the spring, training camp, practices during the season, but really proud of that. Something to build on. Again, each week is different, but we can see some progress in terms of, third down, the run game. Tackling was better in the second half. So all that stuff, and we're going to need it this week against Green Bay because dynamic group of receivers, the O-line's gelling well together, the quarterback, he's getting his feet underneath him, and obviously Matt does a really good job schematically. So we're going to need all that to build upon that for this week coming up.
Trevon Merrick came up with the first turnover, first interception, and it feels like, he's been growing this year. And last year he was injured, and that set him back a little bit. What have you seen from Trevon?
Trayvon just working hard in the classroom and on the practice field, and the conversations he's having with, whether it's Chris and Simo in terms of the coaches, getting insight from Josh in terms of, in the quarterbacks. I'm sure he's talking to those guys too, just to get the safety position. You got to be an information gatherer. How's this look to you guys? So I think that's part of it. You have to talk to them specifically, but I see a lot of conversations going on between periods. I know with myself, just talking to him, the football maturity, just the position, it takes a little while in terms of just to see all the different looks from that position. I think I've compared it before. Never coached the position, but similar to a quarterback, just getting to see more and more looks. That's how you become more comfortable with it.
As a defensive coordinator, you want your guys to be aggressive, but on Sunday, Jared Tillery, there was a mistake obviously that he made. What kind of conversations go into drawing that line of what you can and cannot do?
Well, each week we got to take into consideration what the rules of the game, and just in terms of what's going to be the emphasis or what's important for that week. But just again, we play within the rules. That's how we teach the fundamentals. All our teaching, whether in terms of coverage, block destruction, whatever it may be, it's all within the in terms of just working within the rules, and we just got to abide by the rules.
Speaking of that turnover coming, I mean, obviously, we've talked a lot about turnovers coming in bunches. Is that something that maybe could jumpstart a little bit more?
Each week is different. We're going to continue with the process in terms of working it in practice and making it a point of emphasis, just like most defenses throughout the league, and see where it goes from there. But each week is so different. With Green Bay, they present different challenges, different looks, different ways they're going to scheme us up. So we'll see how it plays into it. But obviously, as a defense, you're trying to get the ball. That's a big point of emphasis in every defensive room.
On the return, you had a penalty on a blocking situation. How much can you work on that? I mean, it doesn't come up that much in the game, right? So is that something you even talk about or work on?
All 32 teams, we're given the same opportunity in terms of coaching off the film, get a chance to educate based on the film and get some input from the league, but just everything has to be within the rules. So, you get a chance to work on it, talk about it, but that's our job to cover those things.
So, Coach, can you talk a little bit more specifically about some of the challenges the Packers present to you?
Oh, absolutely. Let's start first with the head coach who's calling the plays. He's been a real successful play caller in this league for a long time. They do a lot to challenge you schematically. They do a lot to get the ball to the players. Again, just getting the ball to their dynamic players in space. That's a good thing they do there. But it all starts with the run game. And, they do a great job of scheming up the run game, figuring out ways to create angles, and they have the backs to do it, and the offensive line's gelling together pretty good. So, and, the new tight ends they have in there, they're willing blockers. The receivers, I think every time I've gone against Green Bay or been, and I used to work there for a long time ago, but they're always willing blockers. There's a level of toughness that comes into play. So it presents a lot of challenges. The combination of the run game, the pass game off the run game, and just how they challenge your rules and your eyes throughout the duration of the game.
One last question. How much does that extra day of preparation help you?
We'll see. It's all based. It's a production business. It's all based on how we play on Monday. So you get an extra day of rest for the players. We'll see how it plays out. It's all based on how we perform on Monday.
You mentioned the play caller. It's a very different quarterback, obviously, than it was last year. Have you seen much difference in how they call plays, how they design things?
You know, we're still in the early process of it. You know, just what is it, Tuesday morning? So early process of it. You know, we'll see as we go through it a little bit more this afternoon. But it all starts with the run game in terms of what they're trying to do. So everything's off the run game. That's how the offense has been built. So we got to just start there.
A couple of big fourth down stops in the interior of the line. How impressed were you with those players, just not in those plays in general?
Anytime you're able to get a fourth down stop, it creates, it's like creating a turnover. And for those guys, I was real proud of what they did. You know, I think it was 3:31 left in the game, fourth quarter, 4th and 1. It was a big play. Guys did their job, you know, for a play that, you know, we've seen more and more throughout the league with the push sneak. And they did a great job. I was proud of them. And, you know, we'll continue to work on whenever, if Green Bay decides to go for on 4th down, we got to be ready to go this week as well.
I guess how much did you talk about that? I guess we're calling it the brotherly shove now since Philadelphia invented it.
Brother, I don't know all the term.
How much have you talked about that play? I mean, we've seen it kind of take over the
It's nothing unique to any defensive coach in the league, and I'm sure as soon as we all saw it in the Super Bowl, on what was it, 5 or 6 4th downs they converted. I'm sure everybody was on the phone, you know, talking to each other. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I mean, that's probably what happened. I mean, it's been in the back of my mind since I watched that game in February.
I guess what is the, not to give your specifics, but what is it just, is it all just the same thing, leverage in the middle and trying to
Just like most football plays, establish the line, who's going to win the line of scrimmage, who's going to play with lower pad level, and then see who's going to tackle the ball carrier. I mean, it doesn't really change. It doesn't matter if it's 4th and 1, 4th and 5. That's the name of the game. That's the beauty of our sport. It's really simple. When you keep it simple, it's really simple. It's beautiful. It's a brotherhood. It's fun to play. It's fun to coach, and I enjoy it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.